Welcome back to the lecture series. I welcome all of you on behalf of Wiser Life Transformation Center and WeSchool, Welingkar Education. Wiser Life Transformation Center and Welingkar Education together always have been trying to bring newer and newer topics of interest to you, and we are always trying to give something different than the normal education can provide in your academic career. Today we are going to learn something related to your success in life, success in business and success in everything. Friends, the education definitely gives an edge to us. The academic education always gives us the knowledge, the wisdom that is required to sustain ourselves in the business and in our day-to-day life. But more than the academic education, there is something else that is more important, and that is what I am trying to bring to you in this lecture. The academics will give you the outer edge. The academics, the knowledge, the wisdom that you get from the career-oriented courses will give you a sharp edge to prove yourself in the logical world. But there is something much beyond that. The success is not achieved just by that. More than the so-called luck factor, what is according to me more important is the inner will, the inner zest, the inner dying attitude for that success, the do or die attitude for that success, and that is what we are here to learn today. The topic of the day is success attitude. It's the attitude of success which brings the success and not just the academic education. Let us understand little about what I mean to say about the attitude of success. You'll agree with the first sentence automatically. Life is full of challenges. Whether you are a student, you are a working person, you are working at various levels, all of you, each one of you must be going through some kind of challenges in the life, some kind of difficulties in life, some kind of problems in life. And who doesn't have? Who in the world is absolutely devoid of problems and difficulties? Who in the world has no problems at all and he is just a joyous, happy being? I don't really know any such person who is not having any problems, who is not having any kind of challenges in the life. In your business life as well, in your working life as well, you must be having a lot of deadlines for the meetings, the targets set by the respective bosses. There are changing government policies, and suddenly there are sometimes withdrawal of support by the partners or by the vendors or by the distributors in the business. Everyday challenges are there. These are everyday challenges. Something or other thing is happening in the day-to-day business, which is really challenging, which upsets us. Just think of any such challenge, think of any such difficult person, such difficult situation in your life that you might have recently encountered. Give it a thought. Just pause this lecture, close your eyes and just give it a thought. What is the worst or most difficult situation that you have recently been subjected to? Or which is that person who was really difficult to tackle, who you recently met? Just think of it. And you will come to know that you are not the only one. Everyone has the problems. And there is no person who has no problems at all. But still, everyone wants to cross those challenges. Everyone wants to bridge that gap, and everyone wants to come up in life. what is that one thing that will take you towards the success? What is that one thing which will give you the test of achievement? And that one thing is your attitude towards success. Daily commuting, traffic issues, relationship issues, work-life balance issues, all are challenging, all are so challenging. When I drive to the town for my professional work, when I go back, I get stuck up in traffic of this metro. The metro city like Mumbai is having huge traffic in the peak hours. Sometimes it takes even 2 hours, maybe 2.5 hours sometimes to reach my home. Question is, how do I look at that situation? Do I get frustrated? Do I get panicky about it? Do I get sad about it? Do I get angry about it? Or do I make use of that time also? Do I think that even this time can be utilized? The way I look at the thing, the way I perceive the situation, the way I perceive the person, the way I perceive the event, and the way I project myself in such kind of situation or with such person, all this is determined by that one single factor called as attitude. And this is what is the topic that we are actually focusing here. How to cope up with all this? That is a $1 million question. That is the big question. How to cope up with all these challenges? Deadlines, targets, government policies, withdrawal of support by many people, daily commuting, traffic, relationships, one or many? Too many. How to cope up with that? Therefore, understanding attitude in the right sense is the beginning. I will take you through the understanding of attitude. What does it mean exactly? How can you use that attitude for the best? What should be embraced and what should be avoided? That is to be learned here. So understanding attitude actually helps. Lack of understanding throws us out of context and into the emotional dungeon. Emotional dungeon. You know what is a dungeon actually is? Dungeon is a hollow place for hiding. When we hide ourselves, the problems are not over. When we are away from the problems, when we are away into the emotional dungeon and we close our eyes to the world, it doesn't mean that the problems are over. It's like that proverbial cat which closes its eyes while drinking the milk. By its own eyes getting closed, it thinks that the world is not looking at me. Does it ever happen? It doesn't. It's exactly like this example that I am quoting. That by closing our eyes to the problems won't vanish. We can't get into the emotional dungeon because we don't want to be thrown out of the context. Life is tough, but so is it for everyone. When the times get tough, only the tough get going. I'm just quoting the proverb. When the times get tough, only the tough get going. So you can't avoid the tough times in life. What you can do is to make yourself tough enough to cope up with that, and that too with the joy and happiness. Only the right attitude, that is what I said, only with joy and happiness. That is the right attitude. Only the right attitude can save us. Then what is attitude? Let's understand attitude. Attitude is our overall way of looking at life. Attitude is our overall way of looking at life it is persistent in nature. Attitudes don't keep changing again and again. You know, it's the difference like climate and weather. There is never a climate forecast on the radios or in the newspapers. There is always a weather forecast. The climate is usually same with some pluses and minuses happening into it. The climate is usually same. So it's like saying Himalayas will be chiller, colder. That's usual climate. When we say African continent is hot, it's a usual climate. It doesn't change very often. There will be pluses and minuses, certainly, but it will not change very often. What changes is the weather. Like they say, Himalayan weather is very unforetellable. You can't foretell about it. Now there is sunny time and suddenly there will be a shower. Now there is a shower, then suddenly there will be dryness. Now that there is dryness, suddenly there will be snowflakes showered. So you can't actually predict the weather in Himalayas. It's very unpredictable. So weather can be changing. Climate usually doesn't change. Just like that, your day-to-day things can change, but your main attitude doesn't change very often. You'll have to make efforts to change that. And therefore, attitude here can be analogically compared with the climate. It is persistent in nature. It normally persists. We continuously keep bifurcating everything in life as good and bad, favorable and unfavorable. Whatever we feel, whatever we come across, whatever situations we face, we continuously keep commenting, this is something good about it, this is something bad about it, this is very favorable for me and this is absolutely unfavorable for me, this is working for me, this is not working for me. We continuously keep them dividing into two columns, good, bad, favorable, unfavorable, working, not working, nice, not so nice. It's the same for people around us, the work we do and the things we handle. This kind of bifurcating into good and bad is same for us when we apply it to the people also, we apply it to the work we do, and we also apply it to the things that we handle or we come across, or situations or events that we come across. There's always a bifurcation going on somewhere in the back of our minds. Look at this beautiful quote by Frederick Langbridge. Two men look at the same prison bars. One sees mud, the other sees stars. It's the way we look at the life. That's what we defined here. It is our overall way of looking at life. So if you look at life, one might see mud, the other might see stars. Probably mud is there for the same person who sees the stars also, but he doesn't look at it. He chooses to look at the stars. And the one who looks at mud, same time he also has the choice of looking at stars, but he chooses to look at the mud. So, it's not the situation which is different for people, it's their way of perceiving the situation, their way of looking at the situation, and their way of dealing with that situation or responding with the situation, reacting with the situation is what matters here. Therefore, attitude is like the goggles we are wearing. The clearer the glasses, clearer the sight, and darker the shades, the darker is the view. Situation is same. I look through the blue glasses, I see something else. Somebody wears the green glasses, he sees something else. Somebody wears the normal glasses, he sees something. And one who is wearing the polarized glasses perhaps will see more clearly. One looking through the glass of the shop showroom might have the shadow or the imprints of the other side of the road on that glass, so he may not be able to see through the glass properly through his goggles. But if he is using polarized goggles, perhaps he can see through it very clearly. Situation is same for everyone. It is the shade through which we look at it might give us the clarity or unclarity. Our interpretations of the view as seen through goggles does not change the reality outside. If it is a sunny day, a very scorching sun on my head, it is my choice how to look at that, and it is my choice how to respond to that. I might walk in the sun with that scorching sun on my top, blazing sun on my top. I am feeling a lot of heat of the sun. I am getting tanned a lot. My skin is almost burning, but I still choose to walk that way. That's my choice. I might have an umbrella, have my goggles on, and I would prefer to use a Ray-Ban and look through the Ray-Ban green glasses, which will give the cooling effect to my eyes. The umbrella will create a shade over my body, not only just the head, over my body. So direct heat of the blazing sun will not be there. A lot of things will be there. I have a choice. I might prefer to go in my own car, to hire a cab, hire an auto, some public vehicle. I might avoid that sun and the effects of scorching and blazing sun. I have lots of choices. By taking any of the choices, I am not making any change in the sun. I am not making any change in the heat that is emitted by sun. I am not making any choices in the glare of the bright sun. It remains as it is. So I am not changing any situation per se, but I am changing its effects on myself. What I am changing is how I respond to it. My response changes, and I have a choice of that. Our view cannot affect the reality. They affect us. By wearing a goggle, the sun will not set. Sun will continue to blaze, shine, emit brightness and heat. But my way of looking at it affects me, not the situation, not the sun. That is where my attitude comes into play. How I look at the given situation. We are endowed with freedom to choose, aren't we? We are always endowed with choices. For everything and anything in our life, we have choices. We are endowed with the freedom to choose. Our views will determine the outcome in our life. Whatever we choose, whatever options we take, will determine how our life will be felt, dealt with, or seen by us, experienced by us. Change in attitude can change our life. The way of perception, the way of responding. Both applied together will change my life, though it may not change the situation, but it will change my life. Buddha said, we are what we think. So we become what we think. A man becomes what the man thinketh. What I think makes me. If I am happy, makes me happy. If I choose to be sad, I remain sad. It's my inner thing. It's my inner feeling which makes me choose goodness over badness or badness over goodness. The way to embrace optimism is to fake it till you make it. Very powerful and important line. Fake it till you make it. If you choose optimism over pessimism, optimism is the way of accepting positive things, the way of accepting good things, the way of believing that goodness exists in this world, the way of believing that not everything is bad in this world, or the way of believing goodness is more than the badness in this world. There are more good things in the world than the bad. This is optimism. And the pessimism is exactly opposite of that. We need not even narrate it. If you want to believe and if you want to embrace optimism into your life, but you don't exactly know its effects, you don't exactly know how it will operate in your life, you probably think it is just philosophical, you probably think that it is not practical, but you somewhere, some heart of your hearts, you feel it should be done. You are not fully convinced. Somewhere you know it should be done, and somewhere you know that it may or may not be. I mean, you are doubtful. Why not choose to embrace it, fake it, make it, as if it is working in your life, start living. I know it is faking, it may not be real, but more you impress upon your mind about it, more you will experience it. Let me give you a very simple example. Suppose in the morning when you first come out of your house, either you are walking towards the bus stop, or you are moving in your own vehicle, or you are moving towards railway station, or you are sitting at window, or you are standing but you can see through window or the door. When you actually move out of your house, before that, decide to see a particular color maximum. Say for example, you might choose to see red color today. Start to think on that. I want to see red only, or maximum red, not only, maximum red. When you walk on the street, when you move on the street, probably you will actually start seeing so much of red, red shirts, red cars, red hoardings, red banners, red clothing, red vehicles, what not. All normal and odd things in red. You might not have seen the red scooter for many days, you will see red scooter on that day. So once you decide to see red maximum, you will actually start seeing red maximum. If you believe it, so far so good. If you don't believe it, then also it is good, because your belief will strengthen that, but even if you don't believe, it will remain the same. Try it out. This is what I mean to say. Just do it, fake it till you make it, and one day you will start actually experiencing the effects of attitude. Let's do one exercise. I want you to take a piece of paper and pen, and I want to work few sheets, not just one, and on one sheet make a list of persons who you have marked to be always happy despite problems in their life. You might have seen some people in your life who are very happy-go-lucky kind of people seemingly, and they truly are. You might have seen that like you, they also have problems, but you might be thinking that they are probably not having any problems in life. Though your logical mind tells you that it is not possible. Everyone has problems, as we discussed in this start of the lecture today. So they also must be having the problems, but they don't show it on their face. Are they suppressing? No, they are choosing not to show on their face. Now, are they not having any effects of those problems on their life? No, they are having effects of their problems in their life, but they may not actually feel them to that extent. They may not feel the heat of that because they have chosen to be immune to it, because they have chosen to overlook that to a larger extent, because they have chosen to see the good part of it rather than the bad part of it. Please make a list of such people who, according to you, are more a happy-go-lucky kind of people and people as if not having a problem kind of people. Just make a list of them. Pause your lecture for a while, work on that and come back to this lecture. Secondly, ask yourself a question. Are you one of those happy-go-lucky people? If the answer is yes, I am happy, because you have already chosen to be happy. And you probably, not theoretically like this lecture, but probably subconsciously you know it is important to choose to be happy. And therefore, if you are one of them, so far so good, I am really happy. But if you are not, then the next question is, what's the missing link in your life? What is that spice which is supposed to be there but which is not there? What is that zing thing which is supposed to be there but which is not there? What is that zest in your life which is lost? What is that beautiful thing in your life that is not there? And if it is not there, ask yourself another question. So what? So what it is not there? Can there be not some other alternative? Can you not redirect your mind to something else? Can you not choose to look at something else in your life? Can you not be happy in other areas of your life? Find out. This is crucial. Make a few lists. Things that disturb you on separate sheet. Things that sadden you on another sheet. Things that take away your confidence, another sheet. Think the last part as turnaround ways or the solutions for each of them separately. For example, things that disturb you. If you have made the list, take another sheet after the work is over on disturbances, and on that sheet write, how can I turn around this situation? Please note this question. You might pause this lecture for a while and write that question as a note. How can I turn around this situation? If your answer is clear to you, take another sheet and answer, how can I turn around the situation of saddening? Take another sheet, how can I turn around the situation of lack of confidence or low confidence or losing confidence? When you work on these answers, when you work on these turnaround ways, just keep them below your pillow. Sleep on that. Maybe the next day, maybe another day after, you'll have some kind of thought in your mind which will give you the turnaround solution. Maybe your mind will take you to a bookshop, and in that bookshop you might come across some kind of book which will contain the solution. Maybe your mind will make somebody meet you, or you meet somebody who during your talks might come up with some kind of solution. Unknowingly for him and surprisingly for you, that solution will come. Maybe you are on the street and you see some hoarding, some advertisement where some message will be there as a part of their advertisement copy, but for you that might be a solution. keeping the turnaround sheet below your pillow is not physical magic happening thing. It doesn't create any magic. It is just incidentally that I am telling you to keep it below your pillow. But more important than that is you are keeping those contents in your subconscious mind unknowingly. When you sleep physically, your subconscious will start working on those things because you have fed them with a problem, you have fed them with a question, and you have asked a solution indirectly from it, and it will connect you to various situations in life vibrationally, and the situations will start appearing in various forms, giving you some kind of solution. Though in the dictionary meaning wise it is not a magic, but for me it is nonetheless a magic. Try it out, it will give you one of the finest solutions. So now you are on the track. So now you have started understanding how the inner things are happening within you without your conscious knowledge. So let us understand a bit more details about it. What are the angles in attitude? What are the sides of the attitude? There are two sides basically, internal and external, inner and outer. The internal is, I want to ask a question that will automatically tell you what I mean by internal side. Do you see problems in all opportunities, or do you see opportunities in all problems? Again, take a pause from this lecture. Close your eyes and start thinking. Do you see problems in all opportunities, or do you see opportunities in all problems? Whatever is the answer to this question is your internal side of the current attitude. If you have come to that answer, now let me share. If you can see opportunities in all problems, you are having what I call as positive attitude. And if you see problems in all the opportunities, then you are currently having what I call as negative attitude. So this is your inner thing, inner feeling, inner emotion behind that thought. External factor of attitude or angle of attitude is how you carry about yourself among other people in the society. That is how you project yourself in a particular situation before a particular person or persons, or in handling some kind of business situations, career situations, education situations, or family situations, relationship situations, or social situations. How you project yourself into such situation. How you carry about yourself into such situation. In short, it is your response to that situation. In short, it is your response to that problem. In short, it is your response to that the difficulty or problem. That will be your external thing, how you project yourself. Of course, as you have already studied, it will depend on your internal side, internal angle, internal factor. How do you tackle? If you want to try out your internal and external angles now, just apply your mind to these questions. I'll just throw two things at you. One is a traffic jam in the metro cities. You are in a traffic jam, you are actually caught up in a traffic jam, and it's going on for about an hour or 2 hour and a half, or maybe 2 hours, and you are stuck up and the traffic is moving slow ant-like movements, or a tortoise kind of movements, and it's not moving inch by inch, and sometimes stuck up at some place for a long time. Imagine you are in that situation. And it's best always, whenever I give examples, to close your eyes by pausing this lecture. Close your eyes and think of the situation and ask yourself a question. How would I respond in this situation? Or what normally happens to me in this kind of situation? Situation number 2. There is suddenly some order coming from your boss that some work is urgent, some work is very important and it has to be done by you. You actually are planning some kind of vacation. You are actually planning to go off your duty for some time. And before you even start back from your office, your boss calls you and tells you that this is a sudden thing, but you'll have to do this because this is very crucial, this is very important and very urgent. And there is a clash of what you have been planning and what boss is telling you to do. There is a clash. But how you respond in this kind of situation? If you have experienced this kind of situation in the life, just close your eyes and find out how you reacted or how you responded in that kind of situation. And also ask yourself, if this kind of situation repeats again, now that you have already gone through that once, if it repeats, how are you going to respond or how are you going to react to that situation second time it happening? The answers will tell you your internal